Howdy traders, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, and welcome to the AAA session once again here on this beautiful Monday, Florida weather. I'm not talking about anything up north. I know it's pretty hot up there as well, but we're having some great weather here in Florida. Expecting a bit of rain this week, but you know what? Let it pour, because you know what? It's exactly what's going to happen in the markets this week. We've seen very low fundamentals coming out this week. I'm expecting a trendy week, which means let the pips flow. Now, we're going to be talking about crypto, stocks, and currencies in this session today. Hope you guys are ready to rock and roll. Grab a pen and paper, take notes, because we're going to be talking about opportunities this week that you need to take a look at and need to pay attention to. Also, stay until the end of this video, because I am going to go ahead and set up a trade opportunity to grab 20 pips in this session today. Stick around to the end of the session. We're going to go ahead and get started with the panel today. And he's our usual, and we've got our friend... Yes, we do. Tyson back. Tyson is back in the house. Tyson is actually now officially now in Florida. So congratulations,
I'm a Floridian.
Floridian.
It's official. It's official. And you know what? Talk about all the bad weather up north. I'm all for this this nice weather. However, they call this the Sunshine State, and I got to tell you, I think it's cloudy every day that I've been here. So where's the sun?
Absolutely.
Oh, but it's awesome to be down here. It's good to be back with you guys. Ready to start? Let's start making some money.
Fantastic. Well, I'm dressed up like the knight, the Black Knight, which is a Gary Player, and it's the Golf Hall of Fame in Orlando. That if you ever go and visit that, you'll see absolutely Gary out there doing his thing. And that's actually when I was younger, everyone called me, because I always used to dress up in black. They used to call me the Black Knight, Gary. So I never played golf like him, though. But in any case, hey, Chris, how's it going?
I'm doing well. Happy Monday, everybody. Nice to be with everybody. And yeah, I'm just the lonely guy out here, just representing the Midwest, you know.
All right. Well, guys, let's jump straight into it. I know we've had some chit chat around stocks and cryptos just before we got started today. Let's go ahead and start off with stocks. Chris, so you were talking about a couple of good setups that you spoke about last week that's really in the money at the moment right now. Let's go ahead and start with that with you, Tyson.
Yeah, so just sharing what we talked about in our Equities on Demand class. We have some amazing credit spreads running that are in profit. We have some big P&L swings that are going our way. We had a big pop today on Golden Nugget, which is a stock we've been in for a while. I'm staring at about $2,000 in profits today on just one of my accounts. And, it's been a long time coming. I think what we've really done in the last couple of weeks of Equities on Demand, Tyson, is we have just been continuing to drill the foundation. We've been drilling the education, and I think traders are getting it. I think that, we're getting them very well versed in the language of trading options, understanding debits and credits, understanding how to repair trades, and just doing what we need to do to lower our cost basis and let go of stocks when we're willing to, collect as much premium as possible, and let time work in our favor. So it's been great. Feedback's been great overall. And of course, we love it when we're making money, which we are. So that's always exciting.
Yeah. And just real quick to piggyback on top of that also, I was just telling my wife about this. There are some absolute phenomenal opportunities in the market. It's kind of a yin and yang type of market. You got the market, some of these markets and stocks sitting at all-time highs. And they deserve to be at all-time highs. They're earning a lot of money and they're doing really well. But then you have some really high-quality stocks, Chris, that are just absolutely beat up, and they're legit, real, like great companies at great values. Like the stocks that are going to be the next big movers, the next story stocks in 5-10 years. The SoFis, the PaySafes, Golden Nugget. We talked about this for a while, Chris. It's been on our list of SPACs that we want to pay attention to. Had a really huge pop today out of the blue because of something that I actually didn't think would happen in the SPAC world for another year or two. It's going to merge, or it's going to be acquired by DraftKings.
Yep.
And, popped, it's up almost 50% today. And so, yeah, things are working out well. I have a very interesting play for tomorrow. It's an earnings play, but it's a unique earnings play on a stock that I want to own. And I like it. It's called OPFI. The ticker symbol is APOF or OPFI. OPFI. It's a little bit of a competitor. You've heard me talk about Catapult before. Yep. It's kind of it's going to offer a credit card, a little bit of a future competitor of maybe SoFi. The thing I like about it is it is absolutely getting drilled down, beat up. It had earnings last quarter and it got beat up from last quarter because their numbers came in lighter because they service the lower income people and people that, so imagine people, my car broke down. I need to fix my car.
Right.
I broke my arm. I need to, go to the doctor. Well, guess what? People didn't break their arms. They weren't at the gyms. They weren't driving their cars. And so COVID was interesting. Typically a stock like this will do well in a recession because people need access to capital. Well, COVID actually was not good for them because people were at home and they got stimulus money. Well, guess what? Some of that's running out. People are getting out. I think they're going to crush their numbers tomorrow after the close. I love it. Sitting at $8. I own about 3,000 shares right now. I'm thinking about buying some more. I love the stock, OPFI. It's got a catalyst. I think it's going to beat the numbers. I think it's going to look, it looks like a great, and it's a company. It's not a new company. It's been around since 2015. And it generates about $400-500 million in revenue. So it's a SPAC that's actually, it's real. It's a real company, generates real revenue, and has real earnings. And it's sitting at an absolute steal of a price right now.
I agree.
With a little bit of a story behind it.
Heavy,
there's a reason it got beat up, right? It was beat up because the business slowed because of the stimulus and COVID and all that. And I've got I'm not saying that that's not ever going to happen again, but their demand, obviously, and I think we're going to hear this from the CEO tomorrow, their demand had to have picked up over the last 2 or 3 months because people got out more. People broke down their cars more. People, had to have those unexpected expenses, and they didn't have that government stimulus coming in. So, I like it. I like it long term, but I really like it for this week.
Nice.
Hey, Garrett, it looks like we're having maybe some audio issues.
Okay, there we go. How's about that? Yes, it should be good now. I don't worry, it was muted for you guys. All right, so let me start over again. So let's go ahead and swing it over to Bitcoin, to cryptos right now. Last week, Chris, if you remember last week, I spoke about cryptos, and I said to Cameron, my son Cameron, I said, Cameron, last week, the Sunday, I said, go ahead and triple up in your positions. And so what he did is he tripled up in his positions, and he's up 50% of his portfolio today. He called me up, says, Dad, what do I do? So my thing is, I said to him, watch Bitcoin. Bitcoin's at a critical level. I spoke about it in my trading rooms. In fact, let's go to the charts and take a look and see what it looks like on the charts right here. And I said to him to go into to watch Bitcoin, and let's go to, wrong chart, my bad. Here we go, Bitcoin. I said, watch for this level here at 45. I've actually got the daily chart over here, and I said, watch for that level at 45. If we can break through and get to that 47 and break through 47, sorry, it's not actually 45, it's 47. So it's 47,000. If we can break above 47,000, we're on our way to the next high up here at 59,000. And so there's obviously a lot of people that have a lot of doubts on this, but what I did is I went ahead and did a couple of things here. I drew a fib level going up from the low to the high right here. And the reason why I said watch out for this 47 level, not only because of that previous low, but also because we have the 127 right here, and prices come off a very shallow retracement. If it blows through that, then we were going to have what we call an extended wave 3. An extended wave 3 can go past the 1.618. It's a very aggressive move, And so if we go past the 1.618 and we trade above that, what happens is the 1.618 becomes support for the market, and then it pushes and drives it to the next level. We may even go to the 2.618. And so if that happens, you can see right here, the next level is going to be 51,000, then on its way to 59,000. Obviously, it's going to move in waves, and that's fine. That's exactly what we want. So to look something like this, we get a nice little push up here. It'll go past, it'll come back right here, it'll retest the 1.618, and then it'll move to its fifth wave right here, which is going to be at 60,000 right there. Now, I could be absolutely wrong, but this is the way I look at it right now. I'm going to be watching 4,700. If we blow through 4,700, I have no doubt in my mind that 59,000 is going to hit Bitcoin without us getting down to 20,000. Tyson, what do you think about that?
So I love the 51,000 target. Looking at this, we've got nice supply there. I used to think it was foolish of anybody to try to do technicals on Bitcoin up until about a year and a half ago, because it didn't have enough established, there wasn't enough participants. There wasn't enough established data. Now, the Fibonacci's wave analysis, this makes perfect sense. I like the idea. I think looking at the charts, I like the supply level sitting near that 59,000-60,000. I'm not as convinced we can get up there, but I am convinced we can get up to 51. So long story short, I like I'm not long right now. I'm waiting I've got some smaller core positions, but I'm waiting for those lower positions as I've been waiting for months. But if I were long, I would absolutely be looking to buy. I'd take some of my position, probably a good portion of a position off right around 51,000. And then if we start to break some pivots to the downside, I'd probably look to exit and buy back lower around that 25,000 level where I think we're going to get to ultimately. But no, this has been a phenomenal call, Gary. I've missed it, but I'm not going to chase it at these levels, although I do think we have another probably 10 to 20% on the upside to go.
Excellent. Fantastic. Well, you know what? That's not the only crypto that's moving, right, Chris? I mean, we've got a bunch of cryptos that are moving. In fact, if you look at Cardacy's moved a really good bunch. Ripple's moved, but Loopring has not broken through yet. Loopring is still waiting. So Loopring hasn't made his big move. Chainlink hasn't made his big move. Cardacy's done really well. And ICP has done excellent. That's actually where Cameron made quite a bit of his money as well, is on ICP, and then on what is the other one I said, Cardacy, right? Those are the two that really have done well. And Dogecoin, everyone's got to get in Dogecoin for the joke, right? I mean, come on, right? Tyson.
You know what? Go ahead, put a couple dollars. Instead of buying that Mountain Dew, buy a couple Dogecoin.
Well, I told him to triple up on that
amount
as well, just because you know what? That's the type of coin I want him to go in and out, just make money, just get out, and just keep building up.
I'll tell you this, man. If GameStop can go to $400, $450, then Dogecoin can go to $1.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Well, let's go ahead and move on to the next one right here. I know that I didn't touch on Ethereum, but I want to leave that for your trading rooms, right? So anyone that's watching right now, get into Tyson's trading room, get into Chris' trading, get into my trading room. And we'll talk more about the cryptos, specifically Ethereum and how Ethereum's move, because I think there's great opportunities with Ethereum as well. So get into the trading rooms, get a little bit more information on that. But I want to move to currencies right here and have a conversation around what is the opportunities for us this week that traders can go ahead and pay attention to this week and go ahead and make some trades on that. Now, I have a list right here, the currency trading dashboard right here that I've gone ahead and reviewed. I've posted videos on my YouTube channel. But I want to go ahead and start with Chris. Chris, what is your view on a currency this week that traders should really pay attention to, and the reasons why?
Yeah, actually, I'd like to just revisit what we talked about last week. We had non-farm payroll on Friday, and the job numbers for the U.S. came out pretty solid. We beat expectations on jobs. We beat expectations on average earnings. We beat expectations on unemployment rate. The euro dollar has dropped back down. If you remember, Gary, we talked about I was long euro dollar, but at the same time, I was long dollar Swiss. So I am currently running with some really nice profits on dollar Swiss, and I'm going to continue to hold dollar Swiss long and add to my winning positions until dollar Swiss gets back up to 9,300 and 9,350. So I'm going to continue to ride dollar Swiss long, and I'm looking for levels to buy more euro dollar at. There is a yearly target at 1725, and there are previous multi-month lows from September of last year at 1625. So if you want to write those numbers down, 1725 and 1625, I'm looking for two small add-on positions for euro dollar to stay long. And my goal is euro dollar stays in a range. Euro dollar ends up going back from, let's say the bottom is around 1700 or 1600. I'm looking for the euro dollar return, close to 1.20, maybe back up towards previous highs. But I think we're just going to have an interesting range trade on the dollar. Dollar index in general, we're still kind of stuck in a lot of levels. Oil has to be a catalyst, a bigger catalyst on the dollar for the dollar CAD to hit our targets at 1.30. So I like repeating that. I think I'm going to stay long on dollar Swiss and keep riding those profits and add to any winners and pullbacks. I'm going to stay long and scale in on euro dollar. One thing that I know that the three of us talked about a couple weeks ago, Aussie New Zealand. I know that anybody that is short right now is probably, happy that they were short probably anywhere between 108 and 107. And there's a few hundred pips in profit. But Tyson, Gary, your thoughts on if Aussie New Zealand comes back to 104.25 or 10400, looking to buy in the area? That's one of my big spots that I'm watching right now for this week, is to start accumulating some buy position on Aussie New Zealand around 10400.
Absolutely beautiful demand level sitting down there, Chris. I think if we get down there, we've got a 127 overextension. We've got a bunch of supply sitting above. We're sitting at a nice level. I would think the turn should it. I think today and tomorrow are really pivotal. Looking at this chart right here, what do you guys think of this? Setting an order at 104, but then also maybe looking if we can break and close above a prior day high. Maybe getting in a little early, because this could be the turn. You see what I'm saying? So don't get in yet. Wait for a confirmation close above the prior day. But in this area down here, if we get that, I think we could start running. So I like setting an order at 104. We get down there, let's buy, or buy in on a break in a confirmation close on a daily close, or daily close above a prior day. I like that.
Yep, I'm the same way. Full disclosure for me, I already have positions running. I've been long on Aussie New Zealand, sits about 105. And I'm looking to level myself in 104, 103, 102, 101. I'll take it down to the zeros. There's a great pocket for me back around 108 that I'm really interested in, 107 as well. And we're also kind of stuck between. We have a multi-year range at 1.00 up to 1.14. So there's about a 1,400 pip range that goes back 5 to 6 years on the Aussie New Zealand. I'm looking to trade that range by buying it low, selling it high. And right now we're literally right in the middle of it. Right, 105. Is somewhere in between, where if I'm getting near the lower end of that range, I would rather be looking to buy small and build small, support positions. If we're up to 112, 113, 114, I'm looking to sell high and build in some resistance positions. So at this stage, traders that have been with me, it was kind of a tale of two stories. If you're short at 107, eliminate risk and let it run and let that thing trail as low as it wants to go. But I like buying now 104.50, 10400, and starting to look at that big picture support from 104 down to 1.01. And again, easy system to use. Price Action Pro is great to plan that trade out in advance. You could start using Perfect Storm to buy those support levels and only focus on accumulated some buy positions and manage a lot of profits up. A pocket strategy. Tyson, I know that your supply and demand will work great for that as well. If you like buying, it's like you could turn on a lot of systems and just focus on buying. We could use Right Trader for more of a trend, but we have to see more of a confirmed break and a trend start to emerge. I like kind of the, like Tad in our trading battles using Grid Trader Pro. You could turn that thing on for buying only positions to start to accumulate some small buy trades. So there's a lot of ways. This would be a great turning point max
system, turning point max trade also, because it's sitting at those extremes. And this is one of those currencies I think that be patient with, because if you're patient with it, you can't get yourself in a lot of trouble with this, because it's not like a pound New Zealand or something that's going to move, thousands and thousands of bits. It can move, obviously, but if you strategically place your bets and place your buys at nice logical areas of demand or pockets with divergence, like Gary was pointing out, I think you have a really nice setup here. Could we go lower? Sure, we could. If we go lower, I would use that as an opportunity to don't over leverage this first position, and maybe dollar cost average in buying some at lower levels too.
I definitely think that the dollar cost averaging would probably be the best strategy on this type of thing, because of the fact that it could move down to that 400 level. But I think you got the right idea there, Chris. So, getting in right now, starting adding on more positions. Just getting something right now, because it may not get it down to that 400, and I'll tell you why. So I look over here at the chart, and I'm really starting to see the divergence setting up on the daily time frame. We've seen the market had taken out that previous low. We may not take out that low. That could be the all-time low that will hold, and I don't think it's going to get down below that. And I think we're going to go ahead and bounce back up again. There's a lot of evidence here that's telling me that the market's running out of juice going down, and they were looking for a deep correction move and a sharp correction move to the upside. and it'll probably match the move that we had just recently, the downside move that we just had recently. I think we're going to start seeing that big upside move to the top side. So I think getting in right now with small positions right now and just loading that up would probably be the best way to go with regards to that opportunity there.
I like it.
So yeah, I think so too. Absolutely. Quick question here. I like I like a trade on the US dollar Swiss franc, and Friday was definitely the catalyst right there that took that move and just gave the power to the people and just moved that currency pair bullish. And so I'm actually going to place a trade on the Euro US dollar that's going to be a little bit opposite, that's going to counter that move. And last week I spoke about the New Zealand CAD. We made some money on the New Zealand CAD. For those that followed that trade, I'm going to give you a same setup, but this time on the Euro US dollar. We're going to talk about it in just a moment. Now, I want to go ahead and talk about this currency strength dashboard. I went through this and I broke it down, and the one thing that's actually setting up pretty good is the Euro Aussie as well as the Euro New Zealand dollar. But take a look right here. It's telling us that we've got two bearish setups, both Euro Aussie, Euro New Zealand dollar, both selling. The question here is, do we start selling or do we wait? And see, this is where we have to understand technical analysis. And that's what Market Traders does a fantastic job in teaching traders how to be able to analyze the market, break it down, so that not only are we dependent on systems and indicators and all the other good stuff, but we can actually see what's going on and make decisions based on our technical analysis. Now, check this out. I'm going to go to the first one. And this is going to be on the Euro Aussie dollar. And Chris and Tyson, as I go through this, I would like to get your views. I don't want to be the only one speaking on this, but I want to get your views as I go through this right here. And I'm going to go to the daily time frame right here. Now, if I look at the daily time frame on this chart, you can see that we have this big bearish move to the downside. So it makes sense why the Euro Aussie dollar would be bearish, right? But this is overall. But the thing that people don't see is, is the smaller details. And the smaller details is that the market's looking for a correction. It may be bearish overall, but we're probably going to see a weekly correction. So in this week right here, we may see the Euro Aussie dollar actually slightly bullish, and it may be something similar to what we saw with the US dollar Swiss franc, where it didn't really do much, and then at the end of the week we saw that big rally in the euro, in the US dollar Swiss franc. It may just be the same thing on these two pairs. So the Euro New Zealand dollar, Euro Aussie, both going to look for a correction move. Let's go back to that chart. So this is what it's going to look like on the lower time frame. So I go to the lower time frame right here, and I pull this up over here. We're looking at something like this, okay, where the market's going to pull back up a little bit. All right, it's going to pull back up again, and when it pulls back up, what it's going to do is it's going to go ahead and allow. Let me go to a larger time frame. Let's go to 4 hour right here, and I'm going to pull this out. This was by the way, this was a trade last week that we pulled out right here. And so what we're going to do is clear this up, and we're going to go ahead and put in a larger swing from the top here all the way down to the bottom right here. All right, there it is there. Now, with that swing in place right now, what we're going to be looking for right here is and I can go ahead and hide this so you don't get confused by lines. What I'm going to do right here is I'm going to look for price to retrace back up. So when price starts retracing back up, then we're going to go ahead and look for price to turn around to the downside. So in this case right now, we're looking for retracement of this downward AB boundary. Let's go ahead and call this AB right here. All right. So we're looking for a retracement move back up north. And then when it gets up a little higher, probably 618 bounce or higher, we're going to start then looking for price to move down. So at the moment right now, and we have to look at fundamentals, right? What are the fundamentals telling us this week that could push the market back and forth? And if there's no fundamentals, maybe we're just going to have a trending week. We're going to have a breakout right here, and then we're going to have the market going ahead and moving back, just following technicals. And so as the market moves back, this would be a good place to sell. Now, I don't know if you've ever been in a situation before in the past where you get into a trade, Chris, and this is, I'm talking about your early days. I know that right now, the way you trade and the way we trade here in our own trading account, you and I trade very similar. We have like a cost averaging strategy. We're getting a little, we build up our positions. And so this one right here is at a 382 bounce. It makes sense why traders would not want to get in at a 382 bounce, because there's so much room for the market to retrace back up again, and it just puts a lot of exposure on your account if you're in with, let's say, a good percentage of your account at that 382 bounce. But if you throw in small bits and pieces, if you just go ahead and say, I'm going to put in like 2% of my portfolio in that position. If it goes up high, I'm going to throw in another 1% there and another 2%, and you build up your position. By the time it gets to a point where it turns around and heads back down south, you've built up your trade, you've built up your positions. But it's always smarter to look at the charts and look at the technicals like this and say, hey, you know what, maybe it's not a good idea to get in at this low entry, because the profit potential is shorter, especially if you're getting very soon on a 382 entry point, or even lower than a 2-3 entry point. The profit potential is lower for you than getting in at a 618, 786, or 86 retracement, because now you have a bigger move to the downside, especially if you're looking at idiot wave structure, because the 1.618 is always going to be the target. So just think, if you're getting at a 786 retracement, going down all the way to a 1.618 gives you so much more potential in profits. You're looking at risk rewards of 125, 126, 127 on those type of trades, and that's good. But this is the same position right here. So what do you think about this position right here on the Euro Aussie dollar? Chris and Tyson.
Euro.
Yeah,
so,
I think real
ahead,
fast.
Tyson.
I think
Yeah,
you're spot on. I like the rally into this week, but I think all of the strength is going to be followed by weakness. So I think you're looking at it, and I think just looking at the charts, we can see these short-term, reversal bullish short-term patterns kind of setting up that will push us higher, that will ultimately take us up to the levels that on a longer-term chart kind of set up for a nice bearish position. So we got short-term head and shoulders patterns telling us we're going to rally up, followed by we rally up to those levels that you're looking at. That kind of sets up for a really nice bearish short, longer-term bearish head and shoulders pattern. So I think you're spot on, Gary. I like it.
And the same thing applies here to the New Zealand Euro New Zealand dollar, Chris. You see right here, looking for that rally, looking for retracement back up here, and then turn around and heading back down south. So looking for that nice little rally, but then expecting price to move further down south as we head into the latter part of the week.
Yeah, and I also think looking at that Euro New Zealand, I mean, look at how clean that 6,700 support is. If we break below that, I mean, I think that opens it up from 6,700 back down to 6,300. And I mean, we have really good opportunities. In fact, I know in the flex room, we've been talking a lot about Euro Aussie, Euro New Zealand. Both of them have been really profitable for us on the way back up. We were long since 6,300, 6,350 on Euro New Zealand. We were long since, 5,900 on Euro Aussie. Actually lower than that. We got long at like 5,300 on Euro Aussie. So, these have been amazing corrections to stay bullish on and ride these out. I think the best thing to do is keep that, the analysis on the higher time frames nice and clean. Look for wide open spaces, clean structure breaks, clean structure confirmations. And when it comes to this next trend cycle, I'm just looking for a clean confirmation, probably middle to late August. And as we get into September, what's going to be really interesting is to see, how the stock market kind of risk on, risk off trading affects currencies, which we know it will in the next probably 30 days.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one thing long term is because technically speaking, we've got the euro that is more of a risk off pair versus it's a quasi risk off. It's not complete risk off, but the Aussie is complete risk on. So we've got to you got to watch what the economy is doing long term. But I do like the idea of now, Gary, would you be looking to buy up to those levels, or would you just be looking for those high prices to sell? Because I think I would be looking for those high prices to sell personally.
Yeah, absolutely, Chris. Sorry, Tyson, absolutely. There, I would be looking at actually. And in fact, I actually spoke about this in my session today. If I go to the chart right here, you can see there's actually a position that I have already in on the Euro New Zealand dollar, because I'm actually looking for a short-term rally here. So we went in it and bought in. There it is there, Euro New Zealand dollar buy at 67.53, and we're targeting 68.51. We've got a risk-reward ratio of 1 to 2. We placed that trade this morning. We said, hey, let's go ahead and trade just that short-term move. It's about 100 points. We're up 25. And then go ahead and look for the market, go ahead and move back down again. So at that point, we'll then go ahead and consider selling. But yeah,
so you're willing to take a shot, but be strategic about the shot on the upside and know that, like, keep your stops tight, because ultimately the bigger moves to the downside. So you're willing to take the shot on the upside for the time being, but keep it strategic.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely, and the reason why we're going for the short term is because we're not comfortable selling right now where the oil price is right now. So although the overall direction is short, we don't see a great opportunity on the downside yet. We first want to see price move up a little high, so we're going to say, all right, well, let's take this ride to the upside, and then go ahead and make a decision whether or not we're going to go ahead and then sell it from the top and start working our way back down. The possibilities are very good, but we'll wait until that happens. Okay, cool. And then let's jump into the trade of the week for everyone. Chris, what is going to be your? I know you spoke about the Aussie New Zealand dollar. Is that going to be your top dog for this week? Starting to buy right now and buying in right up until around about 0.0400, and then go ahead and take it to the upside. Is that your plan?
I'm going to stick. So I'm going to carry over my euro dollar from last week because I'm leveling in between 1700 and 1600, and then Aussie New Zealand, 104 or lower, level it in. So those are my two that I'm looking to build probably over the next 1 to 2 weeks. Euro dollar is a continuation because I was long dollar Swiss and long euro dollar, and I thought non-farm payroll would be something that provides profits on one of them, and it did. Non-farm payroll helped fuel the move on dollar Swiss, which I'm running with big profits on right now. I'm going to continue to ride that one out, and then I'll just look to dollar cost average into euro dollar as we hit these, kind of multi-month levels. So my two favorite trades this week: euro dollar looking to buy very low, Aussie New Zealand looking to scale in. And one thing I always keep saying for the month of August, I just did a video on this recently on my YouTube channel. August is a transition month, and so if we've been in trends over the last couple of months, August is typically a month where tops and bottoms are forming. If we've been in a sideways range, August is typically a month where the range is breaking out and going somewhere else. So we can go from trend to trend with tops and bottoms. We can go from ranges to breakouts, but we're looking for conditions to change here in August as we get into summer trading coming to an end and post-summer breakouts starting to kick in here in the next probably 2 to 4 weeks. So that's what I'm looking for, Gary. I mean, if I'm going to keep it really simple this week, I like that. Those two right there, those are nice levels I'm interested in. I'm still watching CAD crosses really carefully. Full disclosure, like we've been long pound CAD for a while. Euro CAD, I'm still looking to buy overall. Oil prices, oil has done a pretty good job of sliding lower. It's down to 66.58, but it keeps bouncing off those mid 60s, Gary. We keep talking about resistance at 75 and looking to see if oil will break any lower than 65. And for right now, we've actually tested it twice. It doesn't want to break any lower. So for me to look at CAD weakness and continue to see CAD weakness, I think oil has to break below $65 or $65.50. We just haven't seen it yet. So that being said, if oil breaks below $65, I love dollar CAD long, euro CAD long, pound CAD long, and we'll continue to talk about those as they set up. But oil is a big factor with using that Canadian dollar right now.
Yep.
All right, perfect. Tyson, your
so I've got my favorite currency play, and then I've got two stock plays that are my favorite. My favorite currency play is one that I talked about 2 weeks ago. It was a good trade, good flush down. Now it's back at that same exact level we talked about it at, the pound yen. It was at this exact level that I wanted to start selling it at. And it kind of fits within what Chris was talking about, kind of some of those transition, August being a transition month. We're sitting at, somewhat higher prices right now, on a short-term basis and kind of a medium-term basis. I'm not looking for the world in this trade. I do see a nice move over the course of the next 1 to 2 weeks down to 49.50 is my target. I actually think you could structure a trade. I want to be strict on this trade though. And so this is one of those that's like, it could look like next week, like, oh, Tyson, you lost money, but did I get in? And because here's the reasons why. I want to sell on a confirmation close, daily close below a prior day close. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not so convinced in the downside that I want to jump in right now. I want to wait for the confirmation of a close below a prior day close. And if we get that, so Friday's close was 52.64. So if we close below 52.64 today, I'll short. If we close below today's low tomorrow, I'll short. But you want to wait for that confirmation close, and that's important because this is one of those trades that we could look at next week and be like, hey, you lost money in it. But again, did I get in? And if we didn't get the close below, the answer is no. I think you can take a trade, target 49.50, put a stop at 53.50, but wait for the confirmation close below a prior day. And I think you have a really nice 4-to-1 risk versus reward trade. So that's my currency.
Just before you move on to your stocks, I'm looking at if you look at the chart right now, the close from Friday was at 152.94.
No, I'm sorry. A close below the low. So the extreme low, the wick.
Gotcha. So you're talking
Yeah.
about down here.
Yep. So I'd want to see it close below the Friday low. The Friday low was at 52.64. So if we close below 52.64, I'll look to get in there.
Okay, got you. All right, perfect.
Yep.
That gives us clarity. Okay, good.
Yep.
All right, move on to the stock.
And then the two stocks, I mentioned one at the beginning, OppFi, OPFI. It's got earnings tomorrow. I think it's a great catalyst as far as a play. It's been beat up for probably the proper reasons. But think about this, guys. It is trading for $8, and it's got a forecast to earn about 85 cents next year, and it's got about a 25% growth rate. It's trading at 8 to 9 times earnings with a 25% annual growth rate. Are you kidding me? Absolutely amazing. And it's a SPAC that actually makes money. So OPFI, earnings tomorrow. I expect good things out of it. And then Body, BODY. It's kind of, I think both of those plays are really good because Body is super undervalued. It's trading for about 1 times 2023 revenue. And it's a COVID play. It's a long-term hold and workout. You go to the doctor, everybody in this room, everybody goes to the doctor. What does the doctor tell you? Hey, you need to eat better. You need to work out better. Body does that. And it's trading for about 1/10 of the value of Peloton. And it's my favorite stock right now. One of my favorite stocks right now, long-term. So BODY.
Tyson, just on that note, I saw the first commercial on Body, Beachbody, over the weekend, and I got all excited.
Now you're going to start to see them all the time.
I know. I hope so. I hope so. Yeah. It'll be good,
it's
man.
one of those things, once you see one, you're like, this thing's on.
You'll start catching them. Yep.
So I like all three of those. So OPFI and BODY for stocks this week, but also longer term if we need to hold them longer term. I'm not afraid to buy into weakness too if we get weakness. And then the pound yen I think is good on the short side, but be strategic on it. Don't jump into it right now. Wait for that daily close.
All right, perfect. All right, so I did promise the viewers, I did promise that we're going to put in trades right now in the session, and I told them to stick around till the end of the session, and we're going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to go ahead and place that right now. 2 currency pairs, Euro US dollar. I like that play as well for a short-term 20-pip grab on the Euro US dollar. We're going to put a position in right now at the current price, and we're going to ride that one out. And I'm going to go ahead and show you how we're going to manage that. Second trade is going to be the Aussie Canadian. We're going to be buying Aussie Canadian. Same thing, price right now, in right now. Let's go ahead and do that. Come. All right, so just jump into the first currency pair because it's going to be the Euro US dollar. Euro US dollar. I'm just going to go, it doesn't really matter what time frame it is because we're going to use a cost averaging strategy. So I'm going to go down to, let's go to the 15 right here. I'm going to pop it over to the 15. It doesn't matter which time frame you've got open. It doesn't really matter. But I'm going to do the 15 so you can see how it's played out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click. I'm going to use the matrix tool. This is a tool used here with Smart Trader. And I'm going to use the matrix tool. And I'm going to go ahead and place in 5 entry points. 5 entry points. Whatever you decide to put in as your risk, go ahead and do that. And then we want to place our orders below the market because we want to buy. I do want to enter every 25 pips. So I'm going to go ahead and do a cost averaging 25 pips apart from each other. And I'm going to go at market and I'm going to buy this order. But I also want to go ahead and net profit with a 20 pip net profit. So that's what I'm going to do. Net 20 pip profit, and we're going to close out that position. I'm going to go ahead and enter that position. So anytime the market's in a net 20 pip profit, we're closing out. So I'm going to go ahead and enter that. There's our first trade right here. We're in on the trade. You can see we have multiple positions here below it. So if the market does move low, we're going to go ahead and get additional positions added to that. That's the Euro US dollar. Now we're not done yet. Let's move on to the next currency pair. We said Aussie Canadian. All right. Move to the Aussie CAD. 15-minute time frame. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to buy on Aussie CAD. I'm going to go ahead and enter. Same thing with the matrix tool. I'm going to go with pending orders. I'm going to go with 5 pending orders. Put in whatever risk capital you want to go ahead and add to that as lot sizes. I'm going to go in with 25 positions with these 25 pips apart from each other. I'm going to put my orders below the market because I'm going to be buying. I also want to make sure that I get a net 20 pip profit. Net 20 pip profit right here. And I'm going to go ahead and enter at market Aussie Canadian dollar. There it is there. So you'll see there we've got other positions there a little lower if the market does go a little higher. All I'm looking for on this traders is a net 20 pip profit. All right. So we'll keep an eye on this. I'll go ahead and let you know how this played out next week. All right. We'll go ahead and take a look and see how this played out next week. Last week we did the New Zealand CAD, so I'm 1 for 1. We made 20 pips on that. This week we've got 2 trades in. Let's see if I'm going to be 3 for 3, because that's over here. 3 for 3. So let's see how that plays out. Those are the trades of the week for me. Guys, thank you very much for your time. Appreciate everyone being here. Appreciate you guys being here. If you haven't already gone ahead and smashed the like button, please go ahead and do so. If you enjoyed the content, we want to go ahead and make sure that this content continues to be pushed out there in the through the web. And the only way to do that is get the go ahead and smash the like button so the algorithm, the Google algorithm, can go ahead and send this video out to a lot of other people. Also,
can I say something real quick on that? We set up like 8 to 10 trades, guys, in this 40 minutes. Euro, dollar, pound, yen, dollar, Swiss, Aussie, New Zealand, Aussie, CAD, body, OPA. I mean, this is value upon value upon value. We should have thousands and thousands and thousands of people watching this. Tell your friends, family, hit the like button, and get this out there.
Absolutely. And not just that, subscribe to the channel as we go live. You'll be notified when we go live. When we post any other content, you'll be notified of that as well. So go ahead and smash the like button. Just go ahead and click on the subscribe button. Subscribe to the channel. Guys, we thank you very much for being here. Tyson, Chris, always a pleasure, my friends. We'll see you guys next time.